Welcome, everyone. We are here today with Katia Rave, business coach. And I love your title of your talk today because she's real. And
Yes, very much so.
she's going to tell it like it is. And you've been lied to is true. It is absolutely true. And I'll let her explain that to you in a little bit. But she is a business coach. She speaks 3 languages. She's an overachiever. I'm just letting you know that as well. French, English, and all about money, which is awesome. And she helps service based businesses grow to 6 figures and beyond while living their life they love. So thank you and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Vickie. I really appreciate that.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So tell us, what have we been lied to about?
Well, I see a lot of, I go to a lot of speeches, I go to a lot of conferences, I hear a lot of podcasts, and all you hear is you should be an entrepreneur. It's easy. There's so much money to be made, and you're going to have so much freedom. That's really all I hear. I am so sorry to tell you, you have been lied to. What I discover is people who really buy that theory found out that it's not easy at all. There is no freedom, and especially at the beginning. And there is very little money at the beginning. Most people don't make it. So what's happening? They end up frustrated, thinking then not only there's something wrong with the business, but there's something wrong with them. And I think in so many ways, Vickie, I felt like the coaches industry has been really washed out and is really making some of us look bad, some of us who really have ethic and who really goes, and you know what? It is hard. It is not a hard process if you have the right strategies, if you have the right book, if you know the step to go through it, but you're going to have to work hard. And that's why, we say we've been lied to because, some of us really, I mean, and I was the first one, in some ways who have I really thought, oh my gosh, people are going to come to me. Here I am giving you great service. Come on. And this is not how it is.
Now they used to say that you put out your shingle because that's what they called the sign out the side of your outside of your store, and everyone would flock to you.
Yeah,
And I see that time after time after time too, Katia. People start their business thinking everybody's just going to come to them,
that's
and
right.
then when they don't, they start spewing all over people. It's like puking on people when they're talking about their business. It's like, wait a minute. I didn't really want to get puked on today. So yeah, and you're right. It is easy if you know the strategy,
That's right.
but it doesn't mean it's not time consuming.
That's right.
It doesn't mean you can't put work into it because you do.
Right.
And that's why what I love about you is because you're real. You're telling people the truth.
Yeah.
And it's okay to decide not to go in business. It
That's
really
right.
is.
And it's okay to do it. It's okay to admit then, you know what? I just want to do this as a side hustle. And I think sometimes this is the hard part. People are doing it, they're passionate about it, they want to do it as making some money on the side, and that's totally fine. And I think this is where the misconception is. You can have a business and not wanting to grow to multiple six figure. As long as you're real with yourself, then everybody, you can have the people around you to help you. But in some ways, all we hear is that is success is simple, success is easy. I mean, we see it even with losing weight. Losing weight is easy. Spend 20, I mean, I think it was this morning on Facebook. I saw spend $17 and we'll send you like cardboard food in a cardboard box. All you have to do is eat it. I mean, nobody can sustain on that. That's really not
Mm.
realistic. But it's the mentality right now. The mentality of the world, Becky, is easy work. Well, this is where I feel like this is a lie. Easy does not work. Whether we are in parenting, whether we are in finances, or in our business, or in our relationship, it's
Mhm.
definitely not. Now, it's not complicated work, but it's hard work. It's not easy, but it's simple. It is simple and it's hard.
So, what do you think is the biggest challenge that your clients are facing? So, they're coming to you with practical things. They want more clients, they want more leads, they want more money. So, we get that, right? But what is their biggest challenge? What's
I
really
think
going on?
honestly, the biggest challenge is they're not meeting their clients where they are. I mean, especially right now during COVID, we have seen people are moving. They are on a roller coaster, right? A total roller coaster. If we're not meeting them where they're at, then we're not going to be able to connect with them. And I think that's the hard part. I think people, whether it's, with my clients, I'm like, where are your clients this week? Make sure that you know where are they. And I think that's the key, and that's probably one of the biggest mistakes than we're not doing right now. I mean, before, even up to six, yeah, I would say 5 weeks ago, I was still going with my one-on-one coaching.
Mhm.
Since then, and it was a long contract, and since then I was like, that's not what people need. People needed like something at a price a lot lower, that they didn't even really want to make a commitment. So I told them, I said, well, I literally meet them where they are. Right now, you can work with me months to months. I know they're going to continue hiring me because I know the work that I do, and I know they're going to get results. But by them knowing that I meet them, we meet into a tiny group, and then they have some private coaching addition to that. And additionally to that, the cost is less and they have no contract. I mean, of course, I'm still working right now, but I met them where they need. And that's the biggest problem I see right now. We're not meeting the people where they are.
So, as a business owner, we get sometimes a little too cocky, is what you're saying. So, we're expecting everyone to meet us where we're at rather than our client. Where would you say, how would you go look for the people that are your clients? Where would you go look, find them? Where do you find them?
I mean, for me, I say, networking is great, but I use a lot public speaking as a way to generate an infinite amount of leads. And I help my client to use one of those strategies, right? To be able to get on stage, to be able to build the anatomy of a talk, not just a talk for me, but a talk who's really going to convert. And I think that's the key right now. Speaking, whether it's what you're doing right now with these lives, or whether you are speaking at virtual event, or making your own lives by yourself, or really going to. I have gone to more networking events the past month in like so many different countries, because we have the opportunity. Why wouldn't we?
Right.
So so that is, I mean, speaking and get yourself in front of people and meet them where they're at, meaning like make your freebie, make your opt-ins really related to that. So I know the past 2 weeks, what people need is leads, right? So I created a new freebie who's, called 30leads.com. They go there and it gets them 30 leads in 30 days. But 2 weeks before that, they really wanted to know, how do we craft a talk? What are some of the general things we should have of a talk? So I had a different freebie. It was called a red hot talk, right? And so you have to meet the people that way. When you are in front of them, they really grab what you want. You're really offering them the solution to their problem. And this is how you're going to grab leads. It's put yourself in front of them, but then have the relevant solution to their problem.
So, yeah, relate to, and I think that's part of sometimes where we get caught up too is we're not flexible enough to pay attention to what's really going on and what our clients are going through.
Right.
And I love that you're saying that. Pay attention, be flexible in a lot of areas in your business and how you run your business. You and I are both professional speakers, and so we've been doing stages up until about 8 weeks ago.
That's right.
And then we weren't.
That's
And
right.
mine are still getting canceled in July and August.
Yes.
But what's happening, they're moving to a virtual event. So we had to be flexible enough to learn how to convey our message through virtual means. And that's really served both of us, because both of us are working more virtual events. And there's little nuances you need to know about working virtual events that you may not on stage. So I love that you're giving your clients now that opportunity to learn both.
Yeah.
They can learn from you how to do both.
Yes, and this is something where I have to say I wasn't proficient. I was not an online. I rarely. I mean, I think I had done maybe 10 lives before COVID. So this was definitely not my area of, you know, the online spectrum. I love the energy of being on stage. I love feeding from the energy of the audience. And but what when COVID happened, I was the keynote speaker in Rome, in Italy, and I came back. My plane was one of the last plane who came. Came back in the country and was allowed back in the country like on March the 4th. So I was able to see when I was in Italy what was happening already. So I knew that when I come back, I really had to move very fast, not only for me, but really for my client as well, because I wanted them to be ahead of the curve. I wanted them to be online before, you know, everybody was going to go online. So literally, like I came back, I went to a retreat, and then I was like, okay, I got on the phone with my clients and was like, let's, you know, let's go ahead and let's do this, because we have to implement all of these things before we have to go ahead and we have to grow basically and to be ahead of the curve.
So what will happen to the clients that don't take action?
Well, I think honestly, I mean none of my clients are not taking action. You know, like honestly, this
They're with you, so they took action.
right, and this is it. That you know, when you said earlier, you know, connecting with your tribe. You know, people know that I'm very driven. So the people who work with me are people who want results, who are going to be number oriented, and who want to make more money. So
Mhm.
already from that sense, you know, that point of view, it's already very clear. I select my client as much as they select me,
Right.
and 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 the ones then I think we have seen, Vicky, the ones then who have not taken action were people who didn't have strategy in place in the first place. They didn't have their fundamental, they didn't have their basics, and they couldn't. I mean, everybody was talking about pivoting. I'm not a fan of the word, honestly, because I don't feel like it's pivoting. I feel like it's tweaking. We're tweaking to adapt,
Mhm.
and we adapting to, you know, a time of our business right now who's a little bit different. But I mean, for me, I know I'm going to continue those live because it's giving me exposure, and it has put me on TV shows, it has put me on more podcasts. So I personally have benefited, and so did my clients.
Well, that's the wonderful thing about being a coach is that most of us will experiment with it first on ourselves,
Right.
and then you get the benefit because we're going to share it with you if the results are what we wanted. So you get the experience without having to go through the pain.
Right, that's right. You get scared.
Exactly.
Pain for you.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's pretty awesome. Um, you kind of talked about the myths debunking the whole coaching thing, and I love that you shared with everyone your personality type and what you expect because we're not going to be relatable to everybody,
That's right.
and you're not going to be able to help everybody. And I hate to say it this way, but my skin kind of crawls when I go to a networking event and someone stands up who's in skincare and says, "Well, my client is anybody with skin." I'm like, wait, wait a minute. So it sounds to me like you can help those people too, though. The ones that don't have a strategy, you can put them on track. You can create the strategies for them at the place they're at, not expecting them to be a year or so beyond, and
That's
get them started.
And I think that's we go back to meeting people where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a consultation about 10 days ago with a prospect client, and you know, she definitely is one of these people who didn't have anything in place, and the strategies were not there, the fundamentals were not there, and she decided 10 days ago then she wanted to do something about it. It is never too late, and I think it is a misconception right now to hear just because everybody has gone in the wagon. We are all at different places, not only in our business, but I think also emotionally. And this is, I'm writing a second book right now, and it's actually all about the emotional part of being an entrepreneur. Because if we don't have that very clear, if we don't have the stamina, if we don't have our head in the game, if we are behind people, sometimes we feel like everything is lost. And we don't have anybody to tell us then, hey, you know what? It's okay. I'll meet you where you're at.
Right. Right, exactly. And mindset is a big part of business because that's what keeps us in commitment. That's what keeps us going on when you haven't made a sale or you haven't talked to anybody recently. It's really, and realize there's nothing wrong with you. You just keep moving and pushing on.
That's right.
Mindset is a big part of being in business. And that's
It
why I think a lot of people fail. They don't realize how, I always tell anyone who's thinking about going into business, I'm like, how much do you like personal development? And that will tell me whether or not they'll be okay in business. Because if they really like personal development, it is one of the journeys I have taken that has pushed me in so many different uncomfortable directions.
I know.
And I'm grateful for it. I'm so grateful for it. But if someone warned me about that, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Right. And it's really about how do we not lose our sanity, and how, especially if you're growing fast, like when you decide sometimes to grow, you can really make lips. But if your mindset is not there, or the people around you are not understanding where you're at, the spouse, the kids, I mean, there's so much of entrepreneurship into this emotional side that not many people are talking about. So this is something I really want to tackle, because I was one of these people and I had to deal with many different things. And if I didn't want to lose my sanity, and I didn't have the option of losing my sanity if I wanted the business to continue growing, right? You know how it is.
I do. And what I love about your bio too, you talked about how you speak three languages and one of them is money. And
That's
that's a lot. There's so much truth to that. So tell people about the hang up that entrepreneurs have sometimes around money issues and how it stalls them.
Yes, for some reason, people are not comfortable talking about money. People are not comfortable to say, I want to be an entrepreneur because I want to make my money. I want to make money because, I mean, people are more like, oh, I want to help the world. And trust me, I want to help the world, but I want to help it where I want to help it. Meaning, like, I don't want to coach for free. I actually, what I do with the money that I gain, I want to help people who are in other country. I want to help girls who can't go to school, and I want to help really all of these associations who are attached to the oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of the association now. But all the kids who are stolen and
Oh,
made, put to work, and all of these. This is where I want to put my money. So I need to make money to be able to decide where I want it. But I don't know why it's such a hang up. But I'm going to tell you, this is really what I talk about in the book. It's all these mental hang up. I had them. I
mhm.
kept an old beat up minivan for so long. I hated that minivan. I mean, going speaking into, like your very nice dress, you have your high heel on, and you have this beat up minivan. And I just couldn't let myself change cars because I was like, what are people going to think? What are my neighbors going to think? People are going to think I'm rolling in the dough when there was something who was so, so unhealthy about money. And when I finally said, I'm gonna trade, so I found myself, I wanted a BMW, I wanted a convertible. I found myself at 2005. That's where I wouldn't have to put more money than my minivan, right? I basically traded, did a trade. But the fact that now I'm driving a convertible BMW is priceless to me. And I want these people, I want these entrepreneurs to know that it's okay to say that I speak three languages. It's okay to say that I speak the language of money, because people know when they hire me, then they're going to make money because they know that that's a big part of who I am. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm greedy. It doesn't mean that I am throwing money away. I'm someone who, I don't really shop much. I don't, my kids said, they were funny. They said, with COVID, your life hasn't changed. I don't go out to eat. I cook a lot. I love cooking. And I really don't shop around much. I'm not a shopper. I'm not going to the mall. So making money or speaking the language of money doesn't mean that we are disrespectful. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
It absolutely does. And saying that you are in business to make money, there's nothing wrong with that.
That's right.
And you said that. You said that there's nothing wrong with making money so that I can choose where that money goes
That's
to
right.
help others.
That's right.
And we are both in our business because we love seeing our clients succeed.
We do.
Absolutely. That's our goal. We want our clients to succeed. We're helping them in that way. And it fills my heart. I know it does yours too. When they start even achieving the small milestones in their business or in their life, their weight for me, it makes a huge difference for me and it touches me deeply. But really, I'm in business to make money.
That's right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
And I am grateful that I have these skills. I know you do as well. And I can help people move forward in their lives and create an income at it. So there's nothing to be ashamed about all that. You all have talents, you all have skills, and people are looking for them, especially right now. More than ever, people are looking for support and help.
Yes.
And if we hide, that's really a shame. It's really on us because if we're hiding.
I mean, for you, you have a solution for them. We all know that during COVID, people have been, like the fridge has been right there. I mean, we all know then this is a solution that you can provide to so many people.
Exactly.
If you have a solution to a problem, I mean, I just don't see why that people are getting so hung up into this. I mean, the pure definition of business means making money. Being profitable. So this is why I say it's okay to say this is just a hobby, because when it's a hobby, that's different. But don't call it a business.
Right. I agree with you very wholeheartedly. There are two different ways of approaching making money.
That's
and there's nothing wrong with either. Absolutely nothing wrong with either. So I know you have some wonderful gifts. You talked about a couple of them earlier. Share them with the audience again today, right now, so that we can go grab them.
Sure. So right now the big freebie that I know most of the audience needs is leads. They don't know where to find leads. So what I created is a workbook on how to find 30 really qualified leads in 30 days. So basically, it's week after week for 4 weeks. You get you get the whole calendar, the whole workbook of 4 weeks. What to do, where to get them, and write your notes, and really step by step on how to find those leads. And you can find that on 30leads.com.
Is that a 30 or is it spelled out?
No, it is spelled out. Do you want me to put it in the chat?
Sure, that'd be great.
I sure can do that. Here you go. And the other one, the other one that I have is Red Hot Talk. Let me put this in the. And that's if you really need, if you know that you're going to be speaking on stage, and you're just like, oh, I just don't, and on a live stage, on a virtual stage, you definitely have to have some kind of idea of who's your avatar, like what we were talking about earlier. Who do you serve, and what pain point do you fix, and how do you include that? So all that, and of course, if you're really, really driven and you feel like we would be a good match, please, connect with me. That way, I can talk with you. I can even talk you through these two freebies, and we can see if we can be a match if you wanted to speak the same language than me.
Well, I'm grateful for that, and I appreciate you being here with us today and sharing these. These are 4 weeks worth of material for getting leads and learning about speaking. It's priceless, because both of those two things every entrepreneur is looking for right now.
That's right.
So I look forward to that.
Doing it, speaking, and then we want leads. So so I thought I would cater to the pain, and meet you guys where you're at.
You're very generous. Thank you very much. And I will look at that in the comments. I'll also post it below this live so that you can grab it that way. And thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me, Vickie. I love you so much, and I really appreciate everything you're doing. So it was a joy for me to be here. Thank you so much.
It's a mutual love fest for sure. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Have a great afternoon or evening or morning, whenever you're watching this. And look for us next time. Thanks.
Bye.